That's not how that works. That's not how that works at all, sir. And if that's how you think it does, no fucking wonder you don't be giving bitches head. Oh my goodness. I haven't done a speaking video in so long, I forgot how to start these. I hope everybody's been great. I hope that you've had a really good week. So I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time. Oh, FYI, I'm doing this with natural light because I'm not setting up I'm just not doing it. Not setting up the light ring or whatever. Ring light. So it's all natural light. So it's gonna come in and out. I might be a little bit darker, lighter in some spots. Bear with me. I've been wanting to film this video for a really long time. I've done something similar to this in a podcast version. Don't even think I uploaded that. So, you know what? I'm making it today. We're narrowing it down to 5 things. 5 things that no one is gonna tell you about growing up, except for me. So this is really for this is for everybody, honestly, because we're all growing at every stage in our life. I'm maybe 22. I'm not grown yet, you know what I'm saying? This is gonna be, I guess this is for people who don't have kids yet. Because once you have a kid, these kinds of things no longer apply, you've already learned them once you have a child. So yeah, so I guess this is for the little babies, babies and the boo-boos, and all my little youngins, my little wee ones, my little preteens, high schoolers, all y'all head asses, college freshmen, all of you. This is for you. And then for people who've already lived through this is just gonna be a fun little reminiscence. What is that a word? It is now. Reminiscence. A period in which you will reminisce about things. The first thing no one's gonna tell you about growing up until you figure this out yourself is something I like to call liquor shits. Liquor shits. Disgusting. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It is exactly what it sounds like. Shit induced by drinking too fucking much. But it's not just specifically binge drinking. It's every time that you drink, the next day, you gonna have liquor shits. It doesn't really matter what you drank. Wine, beer, malt liquor, hard liquor, vodka, whiskey, gin, rum, etc. I'm pretty sure that I just covered them all. I'm thinking of in terms of what I specifically drink, but the umbrella terms, anything that you drink, you gonna get liquor shits. The thing that distinguishes a liquor shit from, say, a regular shit is that liquor shits, one, feel like diarrhea. They're not gonna be a solid piece of poop. It's not gonna be a solid chunk of whatever the fuck you ate, because it's just liquor. It's just your body processing the fuck-uppery from the night before. So, or in some cases the day before, the morning of, if it's really rough. A liquor shit is like diarrhea. It feels like diarrhea. There's no backbone. It's just explosion. The most significant thing about a liquor shit is that it burns. It burns your asshole. It feels like your asshole is on fire, which is interesting because you wouldn't think it would hurt, considering it's just supposed to be diarrhea. It's supposed to just come out liquid form, so it's easier for you to push out. But whatever's in it, whatever that liver processed the day before, that shit burns on its way out. It hurts. And your liquor shit is not small, it's a lot, though, it's relative to how much you drank. I learned that when I was traveling abroad, and I stayed for a month or so in Tokyo, and I was drinking every night. Yeah, alcoholic. Don't care. It was fun shit. I was drinking every night, and the next day I was like, why is my asshole on fire? And why am I shitting so much like this? And then I talked to my cousin, and she's like, oh, maybe it's because you're eating all of this convenience food all the time and fast food. And I'm like, okay, you right. But then I come back to the States, I'm still alcoholic now. Thank you, Tokyo. And so I'm still drinking, but I'm eating normally how I usually do, cooking every day, etc., veggies, protein. Still shitting though. Still burning ass shits though. So it's the liquor. Thus the term liquor shits was born. The second thing that people are not going to tell you, no one gonna tell you this. They're gonna tell you in like a small way. Or if they want to be a bitch like my mom, oh my god, I can't wait for you to room with somebody just like you, etc., etc. You know, if you're like messy or something, your parents will always be like, I can't wait for you to room with someone just like you so you can deal with your bullshit and they can see that you're dirty and you don't clean and you don't do dishes and blah 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 blah. And it's like, niggas don't care, honestly. If anything, I'm the maid of the house. So what they're not going to tell you to do, which you should do, every single person you room with ever, no matter how short, no matter how long the period's going to be, no matter if you fucking knew this person your whole life, bro, do a background check. Just do a background check. It's free, doesn't take much. You just need their first and last name and a couple of other items of information. And if they don't want to give that to you, then they have no business living with you, because you need to do a background check. Because my dumb ass just moved into this house. I was just like, oh, it'll be fine. Everything will be grand. I'll just move in. These people seem nice. Just do a background check, all right? If you want to know the full story of like my roommates and stuff, I can do a story time video for that. I haven't done one in a long time, but if you guys want that, let me know in the comments and I'll make a story time for it. Because if you don't get background checks on your roommates, you wind up like me, meeting them in court and getting restraining orders. So which step do you want to take? The background check that can just bypass all the bullshit, or do you want to go until your life is threatened and you need to take them to court? Which we're okay. Number 3, son. Okay, so sex. Basically, no adult is gonna be real with you about sex and like the things that happen in sex. And what I'm talking about being real with you, I'm not talking about like giving you the sex talk, birds and bees. This is where the penis goes. This is what a vagina looks like. This is a clitoris, clitoral stimulation. This is a fucking anus. I'm not talking about that. Like, you will get that talk from school. And you'll get that talk at home, depending on your religion, your upbringing, and how your parents are. But the things that no one is going to tell you, unless like they're a close friend or a freaky auntie, like no one is going to come over and tell and talk to you about some of the more important things. 1, if a man doesn't want to give you head, you have no business giving him head, and y'all have no business fucking, period, to be honest. Like, if a man does not want to take the time to make sure that you come and you enjoy yourself, there's no reason for you to be having sex. Sex is not supposed to be an act of submission and compromise. Like, no, it's supposed to be very simple. It's A and B are attracted to each other. They both gave consent, and now they're getting freaky with it. That's it. That's all it is. It's supposed to be something good for both of you. And I know there are women out there that do not need clitoral stimulation, though that feels like a lie, who like they can come from being penetrated. But let's be honest, who's the penetration more for? Me or him? Like, him, obviously. Like, I do not come from just having a thick rod of meat shoved into my vagina multiple times. Like, I'm sorry, that's just not gonna do it for me. But flick that bean for like a good few minutes and we're having a good time, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hard. It's not hard at all. Like, how are you gonna have an unspoken assumption that I'm gonna suck your dick, I'm gonna swallow that whatever the fuck, but you don't wanna eat me out? Like, I had an instance, gonna flash back to like one of my story times. This wasn't even on a story time. This is just like a guy who used to be one of my fuck buddies in college. He never ate me out, and this was back when I was starting to build my sexual career, so I didn't have confidence enough yet to be like, do so or leave. And I just asked him, like, even though I didn't have confidence to say like no, I was perfectly fine with just being honest and asking questions, because that's what I was been taught, that's how I was raised, and that's what had worked. Like, back when I was single, if you were in my Tinder sphere, like, this was my hit you up message. I was like, hey, just trying to fuck, like, I'll buy you a burrito and we'll watch MasterChef and have sex. Like, that would be my, like, do you want to come over message. Like, just honest, simple, straight to the point. That's just how I always am. So back to the story within the story. The guy we're just chilling on the bed listening to music, and so I asked him, I was like, why don't you want to eat me out? Like, why don't you eat out girls? And he was like, because I just don't. And I was like, that's not a fucking answer. Why not? And he said, well, because it's like, he tried to give me like a metaphor or a simile or whatever. He's like, it's like, for me, it would be like putting my tongue in a dark hole, but for you, you just have to suck a stick. And it's like, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all, sir. And if that's how you think it does, no fucking wonder you don't be giving bitches head. You don't know how. What do you mean, stick your tongue in a dark hole? What hoe is out here just that open, that you open her legs and it's just a gaping fucking hole? Nobody. Vaginas don't get loose, bitch. They expand and contract. It is a muscle. Like, what is wrong with you? Talking about just stick your tongue in a dark hole. Like, you're not doing it right. You don't stick your tongue where your dick goes. That's not the point. You're supposed to be fucking up the clitoris, bitch. That's what the point is. Like, the fuck? And then talking about sucking a stick. Not to mention, this nigga was huge. He was like... And I said, the audacity. A stick? A stick? How is that hot? The same as like sucking on a straw, bro. Like, that is, I just looked at him and that was the last time he came over, because after that conversation, beyond me, I said, okay, that's that little segment. If a man don't want to give you head, if a man don't want to make sure that you're enjoying this sex just as much as he is, y'all don't need to be having sex. Just say no. I had a man come over, came all the way to my house from all the way across town, came all up in the room, took his pants down, was like, suck my dick. I said, will you be giving me head afterwards? And he's like, oh no, I don't do that. I said, well, then there's the fucking door. You can leave. And he was like, really? You gonna be like that? What's their option if you say no? To rape you? That's the only option where they get what they want if you've already said no. So unless you think this man is gonna rape you, you should have no problem saying no. And if you think he would rape you if you say no, then why are you even having sex with him? Like, do you see the logic? Just be logical. That's it. I'm telling you, there are so many men out there that love to eat pussy, that love to eat a girl out, wants to take care of their girl, wants to make sure she having a good time. Find them. Just keep looking. Don't be over here stopping and settling for fucking child ass boys that are pretending to be men. Because only boys over here talking about, I don't do that. That's weird. That's nasty. How? How is that nasty, nigga? That made me a little upset. Did a little rant there. Respect yourself, ladies. Part 2 of sex. Because I'm just going to talk about like a 2-parter here about things no one's going to tell you. So 1, always ask about head. Make sure y'all on the same page with your sex. 2, queefing is natural. Queefing is not the same thing as farting, okay? And you can definitely fucking feel that it's not the same thing as farting. When you fart, that's most times a choice. Like, most times, rather than not, it's a choice to fart. Like, you're like, ooh, I have to fart. So you fart. So you release it. You kind of like push it out your asshole. You feel the gas leaving from your ass. Bars. That's a choice. You're like, okay, I farted. Da-da-da. When you're fucking someone, depending on the angle that they're fucking you at, like, what somebody is doing is like putting a cylindrical rod into a cylindrical hole that may or may not be the same size. So like, if the guy fucking you is kind of small, like, more air is coming in when he's fucking you. And if he's bigger, then it's kind of like a, like, do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Like, doing this as opposed to like this, You see, like, if that's the dick as opposed to this, like, the amount of air that comes in is gonna be different. My guy is like average in terms of thickness, so like it fits me fine. We getting real personal here. This is a family, y'all. We a family over here, and we keep things honest. This whole video is supposed to be about honesty, but no one's gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. We're doing it. As that happens, air is going into your vagina. It gets trapped, and then like when you move a certain way, it releases. That's all it is. Like, queefing is just air that's trapped in your vagina while you're fucking, getting released while you're fucking. For a lot of girls, they're not gonna like discover that until they do doggy. That's probably one of the biggest positions that you're gonna, that's probably the most common position that you're gonna hear that and experience that with. Queefing does not smell because it's not a fart. Like, it's not coming out of your anus close to any shit. It's just air that was pushed into your vagina, releasing. Like, just laugh about it. Just have a good time. Like, it's honestly fine. It does not mean shit. Like, I queef every single time I have sex because I do doggy almost every single time. It's one of my favorite fucking positions, bro. Like, I'm not gonna complain. I'm having a good time. And like, I'm comfortable with my partner and he understands what that is and I understand what it is. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Just laugh and keep on fucking. You know you have a good fuck when you can laugh with that person mid-sex and then just switch right back over to fucking like ain't nothing happened. That's comfortable. That's relaxed and like trust. That's what that is. So work on getting that shit and just know that when you queef, you're not farting and it's okay. And if anybody tells you that you're farting, they're not, and you're not, and they're lying and they don't know, leave them. Next. Travel. The fourth thing that people don't be telling you is travel. Like, it's not hard to travel. It's really not. A lot of people, the reason why I am bringing this up is because I remember growing up in my middle school. I grew up in Chicago. I traveled around from Englewood to Roscoe Village to Rogers Park. So I was like southwest north. And when I was in the south and west side, that's where I did my elementary and my middle school. So, and my high school was in the city. So all of my like middle school and elementary friends, we were all like impoverished. Like, that's how it was. We were just in the low bracket of income. So when we were talking about our dreams for the future and like going places, we understood the concept of travel, but we always believed it was something that was going to be beyond us, that it was something that we could not do unless we had thousands and thousands of dollars or something. Nobody was going to tell us that there was hundreds of scholarships available for people in elementary and middle school and high school that want to travel. No one's going to tell you that shit. Yeah, do you see how bitter I am right now? Like, if I had known that I could have gone to school abroad in middle school and high school, I would have. I would not have stayed in America. I just wouldn't have. There's no reason to stay here if you don't have to. Anyway, that's a different video for different. When I got to college, I had already left the country multiple times thanks to my mom and my grandma, who were kind enough to take me places and had worked hard enough in their life that they had the money to do so. But once I got to college, this was the first time I was like, okay, I'm gonna travel by myself. Like, I'm gonna start to look into what it takes to travel alone. Not much, bitch. You just have to do the research. I was like, this is all it takes? I'm over here thinking that I have to save up like $5+ grand because every time I travel, you want to get the full experience of whatever you're doing and you need thousands of dollars to do so. No, you fucking don't. Oh my God. When you travel, one, you don't have to see everything in that country for that first visit that you go. Most likely you're gonna go back to wherever the fuck you're traveling to. Save some shit for later. Two, when you travel alone, you're alone. Like, you don't need big old spaces. You don't need to be eating big ass meals every fucking day. You can get a tiny shitty ass Airbnb apartment or something. You don't need to be in some big ass hotel. You can go to the grocery store and buy fucking groceries and cook it in your Airbnb as opposed to eating out every single day. Then on that money that you just saved, you can buy gifts for yourself and go to parks for free or to museums or travel to other places within that country, make friends. Like, there's so much shit you can do for free or cheap abroad if you just look. Like, that's all it takes. You have to look. Like, I didn't know and I didn't look. If I had just gone online, talked to some, like, went on Hello Talk, italki, tried to find some people that lived in that country, tried to make friends with them, I would have saved so much money. I would have traveled so much. And then when all of that shit finally got worked out and I figured it all out, like, I was already back in school. Then when I had another break, it was Corona. So now I'm just home and I'm upset because I didn't have to be, and you don't have to be either. If you're 14, 15, you can leave this country, bro. Like, you can do it and you don't need your parents. Think about that for a second. Just go online and find something, find some scholarships, search, use the Google. That's what it's there for, my B. Just use it. Like, that frustrates me so much, thinking that you can't do anything just because you don't know. There are so many options and possibilities in this world that so many people that deserve them and should be taking advantage of them don't, because they just don't know about it. They just don't know about it, and that pisses me off. Like, look, my guy, just look. Oh my goodness. Like, I literally was going to buy a ticket to fly from here, Boston, to New York the first time that I wanted to travel there by myself, because I was stupid and didn't realize that the plane is not the only way you can travel. You could take the bus. Yes, it'll be 4 hours, but it'll also be $5 as opposed to $50. Then when you get to New York, you do know you can take an Airbnb in New Jersey, and then there's a bus that brings you directly into Manhattan for $1, bro. And then that Airbnb in New Jersey only be like $15 a night. So you don't even, like, when you travel, you see what I'm saying? You have to look at the loopholes. You want to go to a city in Japan. Maybe you don't have to fly into that city. Maybe you fly into a neighboring city that has a cheaper cost to stay. There's more like local foods and grocery stores that you can eat there, and then take a train into Tokyo when you want to go see some stuff. And then you also, that way you get 2 different experiences in one. You know what I'm saying? Like, travel is not the way Netflix and American television paints it to be. Travel can be anything you want it to be. It's supposed to be for you. It's supposed to be what you want to get out of it. So why are you assuming that you need to go and see all the same shit everyone else saw when they came here? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Sure, there are like some cool tourist attractions, but usually the people that live in that country have never even been to that tourist attraction, and they're just like perfectly fine and happy because they know the other places. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in Chicago for the majority of my life and never went to go see the Bean until like junior year of high school, and the Bean is 4 blocks down from my high school. So do you see, like, a native? Like, do what the native does. Do what the poor man does, and you will have fun. It'll be fun. Okay, last thing on the list. Getting into relationships. I've touched upon this before, but you should really only be dating somebody who you could be friends with. That's really it. Like, you should be friends before you try to date the person. And people are like, oh my god, but if you're friends, then you're just friends. You're friend zoned. It's like, child, please, bro. Child, please. Like, friend zone doesn't fucking exist, okay? If you're hot, you hot. It don't matter if we sisters, friends, cousins. Like, if you're attractive, I can tell. I know. So if you think you're friend zoned, you're not friend zoned. You're my friend that I do not find sexually attractive. If you want to fuck, make yourself sexually attractive to me. That's it. That's all it takes. Figure out specifically what in my face, what in the face and the body do I like, and then there you go. People be trying to change their whole personality. It's like, that's not gonna get you out of the magical friend zone or mysterious friend zone. Gee, like, you're in the friend zone because she don't find you sexually attractive. You're her friend, so she likes your personality. So why are you gonna change the one thing that she likes about you to try? Like, do you see how dumb that sounds? You're like, oh, it must be because of who I am. It's like, no, you're her friend because of who you are. You're not her boyfriend because she don't want to fuck you. So make yourself fuckable. I digress. When you do want to get into these relationships, though, you really should be friends with them. Just because, like, most people, when you get into a relationship, you're not just doing it to do it, right? You're not just getting into the relationship for fucking fun because you're bored and lonely. Though some bitches and hoes and niggas are like that, but I'm not. When I get into a relationship, like, in the long run, am doing it because I see this person as a potential marriage partner. Obviously, I'm not getting married anytime soon. My 20s are for myself, and I have no problem keeping them to myself. Like, I will not be getting married until I'm 30. Not having kids till I'm 30. Married like 28, 29 to like line that up properly, I guess. But for the next 6 years, marriage is not in sight. I say I'm getting into relationships viewing this person as a marriage partner, but you also see that my timeline for marriage is far off. So just use your brain to try to figure out what I'm saying. The people that you should be dating are people that you could marry, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you will marry them. You know what I'm saying? So to do that, you gotta be friends first. If you can't live with this person, if you can't hang out with this person in a non-sexual setting and genuinely enjoy yourself, then they should not be your partner, and they should not be a potential marriage option prospect. Because when you marry someone, what do? You live with them and you spend your life with them. Like, people don't really understand what that means. Your life, bro. 24 hours out your day, your years, your youth, your prime to this person. Like, your life, bro. If you want to live a good life, pick someone you can have a good time with. But my most important thing that I was trying to say for this section was, you should never even be looking for a partner unless you don't need a partner. Do not look to get into a relationship unless you don't need a relationship in your life. You want one. You know what I'm saying? You're only gonna ever say, I need a relationship, when you are not happy and you're looking for something to make you happy and you think that having a partner is gonna make you happy. No. Happiness is not going to come from somebody else. It's not going to come from sex on a consistent basis. It's not going to come from cuddles. It's going to come from you. It's going to come from you doing what you need to do to make yourself happy. Be that your career, be that taking care of your mental health, working out, eating right, maintaining friendships and relationships with your family members, having a pet, writing, going fishing, I don't know, bitch. Like, whatever you need to do, but you see how I said you need to do, not someone else, to make you happy. Do that. Be happy. And then get into a relationship. Only get into a relationship when you're not looking for one, when you're just chilling, grooving by yourself, having a good time, you know where you're going in your life, or you have at least a plan, or maybe you don't have a plan and that is your plan, but like, you're happy, you're stable, you're fine. Like, view getting into a relationship the same way you view having a child, because 9 times out of 10 it's the same shit. Boys are babies. So you might as well be stable and happy, so that way when you do get into the relationship, the only thing that's left to do is have a good time and explore each other. You don't have to be stressed about money, you don't have to be stressed about your mental health, your weight, any other stressors in your life. You already took care of them, so you good. Because once you get into a relationship, using your relationship as your source of happiness, what are you gonna do when you fight? What are you gonna do when he wants to do something that don't match up with what you want to do, or when he wants something from you that don't match up from what you're willing to give, when the way he loves you doesn't match up with the way you need to be loved, and vice versa? What are you gonna do? Just sit there depressed, sad as fuck, wondering where it all went wrong? No, boo. Look at yourself. It's because you used him as a source of happiness, and you cannot use another person as a source of happiness. Like, you are your main source of happiness. Other people can add to it, but they cannot be your source of happiness. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? The source should always be you and your heart and your soul, and then you bring things into your life that can add on to it. That's it. I feel like I just got a lot off my chest. I don't know, I'm feeling kind of like, whew. Wait, release. Anyway, I hope that y'all didn't feel like I just lectured you or like raged at you. I hope that that actually helped somebody, and at the bare minimum, I hope that it was entertaining. So if you like this video, please like this video. Make sure that you subscribe, join the family, because we are family over here. Hit that notification button, bell, whatever, because you know I'm trying to beat the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, and I'll see you in the next video.